as you can tell, I'm not exactly 100%. So we're not going to really do a workout today, but a little stretching, a little mobility work, recovery, that kind of thing. Um, I've got one more lift in this current cycle, and then we go into retesting. So we'll see if I take tomorrow off or if I do another kind of just easy day, maybe go for a walk outside kind of deal. What I can tell you is like my forearms are definitely in need of some stretching. So we'll probably do some forearms, calves, hammies, glutes, things that need to get stretched with some regularity. So what I'm going to start with is a wrist flexor stretch. So there we go. I'm going to put my palm down on the ground. I'm going to lean over towards like my middle finger. There we go. I'm going to end up doing 3 of these to each side. And then as my wrists open up, I'm going to turn the heel of my hand forward. Alright, my timer went, so it shifted more of the stretch onto my left arm. Both wrists have opened up some, so I'm just going to point the heels of my hand towards the front of the mat. Just kind of leaning back, getting a good stretch into my thumbs. Ease off. I did end up picking up cheese sticks again. My store did not have the low fat ones. It's a 20 calorie difference. So I'm gonna add in about 60 to 80 calories is the plan. I'm wondering if part of this illness and or whatever's going on here, and my grip issues have been from like under recovery associated with this attempt at weight loss. But I feel like the cheese stick is a solid choice. 80 calories, and I think it's giving me at least another 6 to 7 grams of protein, so sure, good chunk of it's also fat, but I'll have like a little pre-workout snack now while I'm still working through some of this pre-workout. My plan is to eventually just switch to protein powder with like a teaspoon of, I usually drink instant coffee. So once I'm through the pre-workout, it'll just be protein, creatine, and coffee mixed together, and that'll be my kind of pre-workout meal, shake, whatever you want to call it. So working on the wrist extensor groups now, just kind of pulling my wrist down, feels good. Some finger flexion as well. Gets a little deeper stretch. hips shortly. They probably like what? Good old butterfly, hamstring, some variation of pigeon, some quad hip flexor stretch, maybe a little plantar fascial stretch, some calf stretching, some work from a T-spine. Good old butterfly. But yeah, so what? I think the day that provoked this, it was 107 in the gym, or it was 107 degrees outside. I went to the gym. Gym was plenty humid. When I got home, the AC was at 72, so that relative 30-degree drop. I hadn't slept well, hadn't eaten as much, general stress, etc. Kind of got this going. Aside from a little lower energy, I feel fine. The voice is definitely affected, but it's not so bad. So, the good news is that if I work out, if I kind of take it easy today, and I work out tomorrow morning, I might have about 2 to 3 days off entirely from working out. I got a doctor's appointment coming up, and that my next gym session would be for about 4 days. So it'll give me a chance to recover, I think. So for the time being, because I am under the weather, I am making sure to stay hydrated. I am being a little less restrictive on my diet, and just, if I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm craving something, I eat. My body needs resources right now to heal. We're gonna see if we can't get into some kind of pigeon pose here. But going back to the last video's side planks, kind of evidence to me that despite my strength, maybe my hips are not quite as stable as I thought. So here, today, this actually feels like a good stretch on my right hip, and I'm not quite getting that pinching sensation. So I'll take it. What else? Oh, but yeah, my hips are clearly not as stable. So I think as my that side plank march improves, my ability to get into pigeon will also improve. What's fun about this is I can't really put any inflection, otherwise I kind of lose the word, and I feel like I don't really want to raise my voice either. So I'm pretty monotone. sit into this pigeon stretch a little deeper. And again, not really getting much in that way of groin discomfort, so I'll take it. I possibly could have just gone for a walk today, and that might be tomorrow's plan. We'll kind of wake up and see what we're feeling. If it ends up being a walk, I might take that weighted vest with me because that's what I bought it for. All right. Yeah, other than that, life goes on. Oh, and then between the 107-degree day, I think, we finally got some rain and the temperature dropped to, I think, the 60s, but the real feel was still in the 70s. So again, we're talking going to a 30-degree change in temperature, equivalent, like that idea of like, oh yeah, it's 68 degrees outside to 38 degrees. Those are going to definitely feel different. I was reminded of a patient who served in Vietnam, and he was on guard duty starting at noon, and I think his shift ended at like 8 o'clock or something like that, I think he was telling me. And at 12 o'clock in Vietnam, noon, you are sweating. And then once the sun sets, it's in the 60s, and you're shivering. So it's, the 30 to 40 degree drop all in the same time of duty can do that to you. I'm just kind of playing around with how to get a little lateral movement into my hip to open it up a little more. What I might do is, because I think we're coming up on about 15 or so minutes of stretching, is knock out my hip flexors and save some stretching for another day, because I got a feeling this thing might take a little time to recover. So formal workouts might be on hold for a little bit. So what I'm gonna do instead is kind of like we're just gonna open up our hips a little differently, and we're gonna use both the sandbag for a little elevation and the bar here for a little assistance as well. So kind of a reverse Nordic, but with that emphasis on opening up the hips. hydrating plenty. And right now I'm like, oh my god, I want to drink it all. Like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and I'm like, yeah, my mouth is dry. I need a little moisture. So I feel like I've tried to be honest with like doing well and not doing well on this channel. And today is definitely one of those days where I'm like, I don't really know how I'm doing, but I know that I'm doing well enough where I can still do a little something something. And that's really all I want from you. 10-minute walk is better than none. Having your cookie is not a bad thing. There's a longer story that I stole from someone where, you know, their client wanted a cookie, but, and so the first they had some carrots, you know, something light, and that didn't really help. So they had a few more carrots, and then they had like a few meat rolls, you know, just like deli meat, piece of cheese, right? And that didn't really do anything. So they finally broke down and ate like not just one cookie, but 6 cookies. So their total, you know, calorie overage was such where it was like, okay, you just killed your whole day versus if you had just skipped all that and had the cookie, cool. So every now and again, you can have a cookie. Today was my cookie. Alrighty. I hope all of you are doing well, and that if you did what I did, great. You did your own thing, great. You're just starting, looking for ideas, motivation, discipline, or a community to support you. It's what we're here to do. Help each other be a little better every day. So, good job today. Keep working hard. We'll see you next time.